Today I'll teach you how to use select stored procedure in ASP.NET. So let's start. This is my web.config file in which already I have added a connection string. As you can see, I am connected to the Northwind database. On the right hand side, you will see a link to the video which explains how to download and install Northwind database. So now the connection string is ready. So let's start. First I am adding a GridView control. Now I am adding columns to the GridView control. I'll be adding 4 bound field columns: customer ID, contact name, city and country. All these 4 columns belongs to the customers table of the Northwind database. So our GridView is ready. Let's move to the code behind. So first I am adding the namespaces, system.data, system.data.sql client, and finally system.configuration. Now I am writing a function bindGrid which will be used to populate the grid view. This function will be called at 2 places. First in the page load event and second inside the on page index changing event handler. Now here we'll specify the name of the stored procedure, customers underscore get customers. Now I am fetching the connection string from the web.config file. For more information on reading connection string from database, please refer to the video on the right hand side. Now I am creating an object of SQL connection class. As you can see, I am making use of using statement. Using statement is required when you want to destroy your objects as soon as the work is done, and it is also considered as a good programming practice. So I would recommend that you also make use of using statements. Next I am making use of SQL command object in which I am defining the name of the stored procedure. Now here we'll specify the command type. Now I am creating an object of SQL data adapter class. SQL data adapter will be used to fill the data table with the data which is fetched from the database, and SQL data adapter is also used in disconnected architecture where we are not opening and closing the connection. Now I am creating a data table object. The data table object will be filled using the data adapter, and finally the data table is assigned to the grid view. Now in the page load event, I am writing the not is postback condition, which is very important when we are doing paging for the grid view. Now let's call bindGrid function inside the page load event handler. Now let's run the code and check it. As you can see, the grid view is now displaying the records from the customers table. Now let's move to the second part, which is paging. So here I am setting allow paging property to true. Then I am setting the on page index changing event handler, and I am setting the page size to 10. Now let's move to the code behind. Now I am defining the on page index changing event handler. This event is triggered when you click on the page number in the pager of the grid view. The page number which you have clicked is received here, and it is set in the page index property of the grid view. As you can see, now I am setting the page index property. Finally, we'll bind the grid view again using the bind grid method. So our event handler is ready. Let's run the code and check it. As you can see, the grid view is displaying the data page wise and our paging is working perfectly. So with this, we come to the end of this video. Today we learned how to use select stored procedure in ASP.NET. So if you like this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and please also click on the bell icon so that you receive notifications. Goodbye.